What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Good to have you back. So I'm headed up to go see my buddy who's in town looking at real estate a little north of here. I wasn't aware he was in town. I was thinking about him. Literally haven't seen this guy in 10 years, 11 years. And when I met him, I probably met him 13, 14 years ago. It was at an SFL event, and we were at the very, very beginning days of Students for Liberty. And it was just like some really out there libertarian types. And it's like things like that in life. Like you don't realize that not only were those the good old days, that was the spot. Like that was the spot to be in. And at the time, I was always like, oh, I want to go out to Silicon Valley, go do that thing, you know. This is before California. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't like it is now. And at the time, I was like, yeah, I'm just doing the DC thing for now, bouncing back and forth, you know, meeting all these political types, these free market thinking types. But ultimately, I want to go mess with entrepreneurs and do the startup thing out in Silicon Valley. Turns out the place to had been was right where I was. So that's something interesting. You know, Lord, the universe, if you're New Age, it's all the same thing, actually. I can debate you 6 ways to Sunday on that. It's a good pun. Come on now. You like that. Come on. But ultimately, you know, energy's got a way of putting you where you need to be when you need to be there. Like, ask and you shall find. And I wanted to be in that spot, and I found this spot. And I literally remember with this guy, my buddy Eric, which I'm hoping to have on the channel. I've actually been watching his YouTube now for about a year, and it's very good, but he's not playing towards the YouTube algorithms. He's just doing Eric, and he's got good conversations on there. And I'm hoping to bring him on this channel. I'm pretty sure he'll come on. But when I met him, subway doors opened up. He was dressed like he was going somewhere. I was dressed like I was going somewhere. He was like, "Hey, are you headed to American University?" I was like, "I am headed to American University." He's like, "My name's Eric," and it was like love at first sight. It was like a bromance right at first sight, and some people, you just know like that, you know, like you just, like the second I met this kid, I was just like, yo, I know so much about you. Like, and it's funny as I'm going up to meet, his parents are in town. They're all looking for a place down here. And his parents, he's like, dude, once my mom knows that, you know, you're local or like within reach here, you're just going to flip. I'm like, oh, dude, cause like his family, like everything about the dude was like, it was legit. Like it was just, his dad's like a helicopter medic. Got tons of war flight time. He's actually a doctor, excuse me. He's a doctor, but he does helicopter flight medic and stuff. But it's just like, it made sense. Like I didn't know this kid from Adam, but like out of nowhere, it was like I met him and it just makes sense. He was around the right people, he was raised by the right people. It showed in his situation. And I was putting myself at a place where it was like I was around those types. That day, I actually met a guy named Ross, and I'm pretty set on being the guy to pick Ross up. We'll talk more on Ross probably in a podcast like setting. He is, in my opinion, America's most successful entrepreneur based on the timeline. Based on a 2-year window, I don't think America has ever had a entrepreneur do more revenue in a shorter period of time than Ross did. And ultimately the authorities did not like Ross's non-aggression principle. And he got that from SFL. He got that from what was being taught at SFL, which was very Austrian economic, and, you know, von Mises and Rothbard, Hayek, all those type of guys. But the one thing that was the big trend there in that libertarian community was the non-aggression principle. And it made the people there that believed in those ideas, they were weird, but they were just good, wholesome people. And I was super blessed to have met these people. What I've noticed as I've gone, you know, I'm now going to be about to be 33 next month. And I've had a lot of people in the last 5 years, last 10 years come and go. But the last 5 years, I've noticed You know, I know very few people from 10 years ago. I know even fewer from 20. I have a couple. And then from, you know, really early days, like almost none, basically family. And that's, you know, kind of how life is. Like, circles end up being smaller than you think when you start it out that they would be. And I've noticed, I don't really have a whole lot of conclusions to draw from this, but man, a different type of caliber of people have given me different gut feelings when I've met them, or you know, I've continued on with them, and they've kind of become like anchors in my life. And then other people have become sails, and it's just like, it's so easy to work with them. It's so easy to have conversations with them. They're on the same page, but I've had more anchors, and I kind of feel like a failure in that. I've had more anchors through life than I have found sails, and I think a lot of that I've got to dive into and figure out exactly why that is. And I think a lot of that has to do with me. Not all of it, but certainly some of it. And how I evaluate, or how I quote interview out people that I want to associate with. I think one of my biggest problems has been putting too much time in with somebody that I knew at some point they were not what's up. Like, it wasn't there was no fruit coming from the relationship. If anything, there was just damage that was going to come from the relationship. When I knew that, I didn't cut ties. It's a big major mistake. And then I would like to learn how to figure out to be a good judge of that character sooner. Kind of like when I knew Eric, like it was immediate. It was like, yep, definitely, this dude's solid. He's solid as fuck. Like, there's no doubt about it. And he's just a winner. And so other people I've had circle in, help them do something, help them get going on something, and then literally just get slapped in the face for the effort. And it's like, why did I put forth the effort? And I don't know if that's something that you get good at as you get older, or you develop that gut instinct, or you have a better filtration way of filtering out, like, and trying to find the good people. Really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to gravitate towards the good people, what I would call based people, who have values, principles, who don't give a shit about like what the public narrative is, or being politically correct, or whatever it is. Like, they do their thing, they do what they believe, and they evaluate what it is that they believe. They don't just aimlessly follow anything. They're not on one side of the camp or that side of the camp, but they do have core values, and they stick to those core values and those core principles. I think a lot of people see themselves as that, but when push comes to shove, most American males will roll over without a fight. And I would say as high as 98% of them. Most of them, the second you come for them, you come for their paycheck, you come for a little bit of their reputation, or a little bit of their reputation might be risked by taking a based stance on something. Man, they crumble like nothing. It makes me really evaluate like how long I'll be here in the West. I mean, right now it's like, it's hard to beat Florida, Texas, Tennessee, anywhere in the world. I've got my eye on a few different locations. I've got my eye on a couple different passports I want to collect. But I'm not in any hurry to go anywhere, because it's like, it's hard to find better spots than Southwest Florida at the moment, as far as freedom goes. But still, it's not on a good trend. And that trend could reverse, but at the moment, like, it's just not on a good trend. You can feel it, and you can feel like something's off, and a lot of it is just like these American males. And so, you know, one thing this week, the Canadian truckers, thank God there's some freaking men out there that are going to stand up and do something. And I would have never thought it would have come out of Canada, but I'm happy to see that it's coming out of the trucking class there, and it's coming out of Canada, man. That's awesome. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you have good resources or things that have made a massive impact on you, that have reevaluated how you sift through what comes in and what goes out of your life. And until next time, thank you for liking, thank you for commenting, thank you for sharing these videos and making them go, and I will see you in the comments.